Hello, people of the internet, and welcome to the final countdown. All right. I am James Phoenix, and this is the show where I count down the top 5 of whatever the hell I feel like that month. If you've been watching the final countdown thus far in 2018, you know this is our year of heroes, complementing 2017's year of villains, all the videos of which are available now on our channel. And this month we are going to be doing the top 5 hero vehicles or mounts, or just basically modes of transportation.
Yep. Can't wait till next year, the year of tweeners.
Yes. With me is Chris the Mole.
Hello.
All right.
There's no Pew today. She was unavailable.
Yes, unfortunately, she could not make it, so it'll just be the two of us.
And I didn't get her list. I asked her for it, but she didn't send it.
Almost makes you wonder if she had one.
Probably didn't. She wouldn't be the first person from New York to try and get out of doing these with made-up excuses.
All right. So, we'll go ahead and kick it off with number 5. Mole.
Number 5. I get to the Thunder Tank from Thundercats.
Nice.
It's a cool little armored tank. It can shoot, it can dig underground, it can propel and drag itself up the building. It's cool. I loved the Thunder Tank, and as a kid, I had a toy Thunder Tank. The original 1980s, whatever the hell it was when it came out, or 1990s, the Thunder Tank was just a beast. It was awesome. I liked the Thunder Tank.
That's cool. I'm not that familiar with Thundercats, so I don't know it that well, but that's cool. Sounds cool. All right, so mine. Let me click over to me. There we go. All right. My number 5, and I thought these were cool, just because it was a unique idea. I was on board with it, and that's the idea of introducing Birth by Sleep, the Keyblade gliders. Hang on, let me turn the brightness down on this. Sorry about that, folks. Turn that down. You can see a little better. Yeah, there we go. The Keyblade gliders. I thought it was really cool in Birth by Sleep, but they had this idea that for traversing worlds, since they didn't really have gummy ships yet, because that was kind of invented at King Mickey's world, they could actually put on a special armor and then turn their Keyblades into a special kind of glider, and each one was different. Because as you can see there, Ventus kind of surfs on his like a surfboard, whereas Terra kind of rides his sort of like a motorcycle, and Aqua sort of sits in hers and kind of drives it like a car. So that's really neat. They were all different, and that they could use these kind of Keyblade gliders to glide between worlds and the other between worlds. So that was really cool, and I like that idea.
Nice.
All right, number 4, Mole.
My number 4, I gave it to. Hang on, what is it? It's not. There we go. I gave it to that. 1964 Aston Martin DB5 from James Bond. It's literally the car of gadgets. It looks beautiful. It's classic. It's iconic. And when you think of spy cars, you think of James Bond's car because of this car.
That is true.
That's how awesome this car is, and I had to give it to that. It's just a great piece of kit.
I completely understand. It's an awesome car. All right. So moving on to my number 4.
And I will just say for the record, for people wondering, yes, these are always our favourites. Not necessarily, we don't necessarily rate them in terms of practicality or how good they are.
Yes, that is correct. All right, next. This actually came up in the series of videos that we just finished a few videos ago, sticking on the theme of gliders. The Galaxy gliders.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be a damn hoverboard.
No, fuck that. No, the Galaxy gliders. They were awesome. It allowed the Rangers to traverse from the Astro Omega spaceship to Earth or to other things in space they were going to, and they were just awesome. They got a certain time they could control them. They were clearly sturdy enough they weren't going to fall off. They were colored like the Rangers. They were awesome. It was a great way to get around. It worked perfectly for a season themed on space. It was great. Galaxy gliders. Why is that still so damn bright?
You might have adjustive lighting or something, and if it's dark in your room, the screen gets lighter.
Maybe. Yeah, there we go. Galaxy gliders. Cool.
Nice.
All right. Number 3, Mole.
Number 3, I gave it to the DeLorean
Nice.
from Back to the Future. It's a car. It hovers. It time travels, and while it may not necessarily look the best inside in terms of practicality, it's a great little car. I like the DeLorean, and it looks cool. And like you said, if you're going to put a time machine in any car, it should be a DeLorean, and like the doors go whoosh and open up. It's a great car.
Yes.
I love that little DeLorean.
DeLorean's awesome. More on that later. All right, for mine. I've always thought this was really cool, and I like this version because it looks really cool, so I picked this one. But I gave it to the Batwing. Because I thought of the Batmobile, but I'm like, I've always liked the Batwing more than the Batmobile. I like planes. And I think it's really cool that it is shaped like a bat, and that, you know, he can just shoot right across Gotham City. He can rappel out of it. He can shoot a rappel line and he'll grab the plane and just pick him up and he just flies away. The Batwing is just freaking awesome. And that's the animated series Batwing there. And I always thought that one kind of looked the coolest. It's definitely at least better than the one like dropping the tumbler in the more modern movies, but it's still really cool. I also like the one from Batman vs. Superman. That one was also really good.
It was.
Especially because it could be remote controlled from the cave. So he could jump out and Alfred could fly back to the cave, and that was really neat. Back to Maul for number 2.
My number 2, there's been a lot over the years, Batmobiles.
There have.
I gave it to this one, which probably isn't going to be a lot of people's, but I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
From The Dark Knight Returns, as you can see there, it's a giant tank with a bat head.
It is. I remember that. That was ridiculous. And yet awesome.
And it shoots rubber bullets and stuff, and it's just awesome. Because I'm sorry, Batman is someone without powers.
Yep.
We all know this. At a certain point in his career, when he's that aged and stuff like that, it makes sense to have a tank because that's going to intimidate people. A lot of people will see a tank and not attack it. I'm sorry, you'll see a tank and you'll run, or you'll hide, or you know what I mean? You'll feel fear. And then if Batman comes out the tank, you're like, oh God, and you get a lot more afraid. So it works for him. The tank works. Runner-up, I almost, in terms of Batmobile, I almost gave it to the Batman v Superman one because it's like a hybrid between the Tumbler and the more slicker ones. Because I do like the slicker Batmobiles, but I just really like that tank. That's my favorite Batmobile.
Nice. And since I didn't give it, I will just take a moment. I will give an honorable mention to the Batman Beyond Batmobile only because it was basically a Batwing and a Batmobile in one because it was a flying Batmobile.
They've done that before.
Have they?
Well, you literally just mentioned the Tumbler as well.
That's true. All right. My number 2, and I just love this, and I think they have this on the PSN store. I really should buy this on PS4 and download it to play it again if they have it on there, but I gave it to Jack's car from Jack X Combat Racing. Because that was an awesome game. And it did go to continue an interesting storyline from the Jack and Daxter franchise to make you interested and not just be a crappy spinoff. And it was just a really good game. This is just the default model of car, but you could obviously customize it, colors, parts, whatnot. But the car was really awesome with how fast it was, and you could do all kinds of customization on it to make it cool. And the different weapons you could use, like there were a lot of different weapons, like not, you could pick up a temporary machine gun or a rocket or stuff behind you to counteract enemies behind you. It was a really, really cool car, and I love Jack's car in that game, among others, but Jack's particularly.
Nice.
It's a badass car. Bam. All right. And Mole number 1.
Number 1. And not just because it's number 1 before someone makes the pun. It's the Ecto one because, I'm sorry, that's a cool car. It's like an old ambulance that's been resurfaced into that. It's got room for their equipment, which is all they need it for. It's got the sirens to go as they come down the road. It looks cool, and if you show anyone Ecto 1, they instantly know what it is. It's great, iconic. It's up there with the DeLorean and the Batmobiles and stuff of being these all-time classics.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think Ecto 1's probably the coolest of all of them. I like that. And yeah, that was the original Ecto 1, not the new one.
Yeah, because the new one was like out of a hearse, wasn't it?
The new one was out of a hearse due to the reason.
due to Winston Zedmore working at a funeral home.
No, that was like a plot reason. One of the reasons they gave it a hearse is because a lot of people looked at the old ones with the long back and always used to assume it was a hearse instead of an ambulance because people forgot ambulances used to look like that.
Ah, okay.
So that was just a cool little thing that they did. And the new one still looks cool, but I'm sorry, the old original classic one is still a classic vehicle. I had to give it to that.
And I completely get that. That makes total sense. And this came up earlier, but speaking of classic vehicles in movies, I had to give number one to the DeLorean. Back to the Future is my favorite franchise of all time. The only movie I like more is Clue. But I love Back to the Future. The DeLorean is awesome. And well, my favorite movie is Clue. I'm sorry. I like a funny comedy.
No, I'm sorry. That's just really funny. That's like saying, "Oh, my two favorite films of all time is Jurassic Park. I love that franchise." Or Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. You're like, they're not very similar. One's a horrible B movie, which is kind of funny in an ironic way. And Jurassic Park would be a classic, iconic series. What the hell? No, you can't put both in the same category. That's not how this works.
I know it's weird, but I can't help what I like. But anyway, in particular, I picked the DeLorean from Back to the Future Part 2, the one that could fly, because I thought that was when it was at its coolest. And I like that it had that kind of future tech where it could fly, the Mr. Fusion to power the time circuits and the flux capacitor.
I'd make the case, like I said, when I mentioned you could have it, I gave it to the DeLorean in general because it's the same car for all three, so it just evolves.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, arguably, depending on how you do the timelines, because some of them get broke and stuff.
Right. But the DeLorean is awesome. It's my favorite car from all the movies. I love the DeLorean. That's why I by the way, big shout out to Rockstar for thank you for putting that game in Grand Theft Auto Online because I own one now and it flies and everything, and that's awesome. So yeah, DeLorean, great car. It's awesome.
Yep, and, if you're going to shout out like that, I'll just say shout out to Burnout Paradise on PS3.
Nice.
No, that's the only reason I got that is they did a movie pack and there's a car that looks very similar to a DeLorean, one that looks similar to Ecto 1 and stuff. And I'm like, oh, I can race these. I think I have a DeLorean in Rocket League too because it's a great car.
Yeah, they put that in Rocket League. I remember that.
Yeah, I bought that. Like I bought the Batman v Superman car, and I've bought more on the Switch version than I have PS4 because I play that one more. But still.
And I'm glad they put that in that game because I was a little disappointed when I played the Telltale Back to the Future game, and at no point could you manually control the DeLorean. And I know that's not normally a Telltale thing, and I get that. I just kind of wish they'd have worked that in there.
Yeah, it's not. That's fine because at the end of the day, Back to the Future should never be Grand Theft Auto. Which is the series people wanted. I love one of the mods. The best use of that with Grand Theft Auto is the mod on PC where you could go from Vice City to Grand Theft Auto 3 if you had both with this mod. So you're going back and forward through time. That's genius. But let's face it, with the DeLorean, all they ever do in the movie in terms of drive it really is to go 88 miles per hour, then disappear. When it appear at the next place, get out and they're in time. You don't need to drive this around the city. But it's still cool to do that in some games.
It is.
But for the Back to the Future game, I like what they did with the Telltale one. And I loved being on like the hoverboard, going around the side, that was cool.
That was cool, yeah. But yeah, so DeLorean, number one. And that was the final countdown. Mole, thank you for joining me, as always.
Pleasure.
Lovely to have you here.
I will say, as much as I don't like him, I will give an honourable mention to the Turtle van in the 2012 version. I think it was 2012, 2013.
Okay.
Where they shoot the manhole covers, because I figured the Turtle van needs to be mentioned, so I gave my shout out to my favourite. In case people are wondering, we didn't do Optimus Prime and stuff like that because we thought Optimus Prime is not a vehicle or a mount; he is a person.
Yep.
And we didn't give it to Megazords or anything like that because they're mechs or giant robots more than they are vehicles or mounts.
Correct.
Same reason why the Death Star's not on my list.
Yeah.
Which, sorry, Ultrazord, Death Star would kill you.
Yeah. Entirely right. Alrighty, well, stay tuned. Coming up in October, we will apparently be doing the best hero pets.
Okay.
Sounds fun.
spoiler number one will probably be the Crypto Ace.
Yeah, that seems like a given.
Unless you go with, well, technically the Ninja Turtles were a pet before they mutated.
Yeah.
But that's a shitty logic.
But could you technically count Slash that way?
Probably you could.
Yeah.
I think because he actually was a pet throughout the series, not just
Yeah.
for the origin.
Right. All right, so Hero Pets will be coming up next month. That'll be cool. All right. And with that, there we are. With
Question.
that, yes.
For pets, just because I'll throw that out there in the future, does it count if they're animals that are kept, but you don't really, maybe they're not really pets, they're more tools, but they're still they're still animals?
I would count that.
Cool. Wild West Ghost Rider Horse, you're on my list, probably. I don't know, I haven't done the list yet, but I'm probably on my list, because I was like, it's a flaming horse!
Yeah, that is cool. It's hard. That kind of crosses into mountain territory, but I will allow it.
But a horse is also an animal. It can be both. Look
That's
at
true.
Supergirl's horse.
That's
or
true.
She-Ra's horse.
That's true. Hello,
I think they're
Battle Cat.
technically Pegasus. I think they're technically Pegasus.
Yeah.
She-Ra and her, because I believe technically Supergirl, because they technically fly, but still.
Right.
That's just a whole other issue.
It is.
Does Robin count?
Ha.
He's Batman's pet.
All right. Well, we will see you next month for that. And do stay tuned because coming up next weekend, we will be reviewing the movie Teen Titans Go to the movies.
Yep.
So stay tuned for that. We will see you next time, folks. Peace.
Peace.